Top five, top five, top five.
Topical back with another video. I'm a Good Citizen. He's Donald Duck, also known as Strange Wing. Oh, we can be talking about it soon, Donald. And Nate doing top 5 bank robbery movies for the film Cherry coming out, which is about a bank robber. It's a bank robbery movie, kind of. I don't know. He's in war, and then he's like,
a bank gets robbed.
Yeah, and then he's like doing crack or whatever he does. So we want to talk about bank robbery movies.
Heroin.
We had an excuse to talk about bank robbery movies, so we're talking about bank robbery movies. How does this list work?
So he's going to start off with his 5 and 4. I'm going to do my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis roll, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we won't talk about it till we get to it on theirs.
So my number 5 is going to be Point Break. What a great movie! In England, it's also known as Slice of the 90s.
Oh,
yes, because it's a very 90s movie. They probably spell everything with a Z after it because everything is extreme. Because it's great. You got Red Hot Chili Peppers on there. But what a iconic bank robbery movie. The Dead Presidents. What a great look for these surfer bank robbers to wear like Dead President mask, as they're known as the Dead Presidents. Fun fact about that movie: the same Tricky Dick mask is also the one that Eric Foreman uses in that '70s show.
Nice.
When he flashes everyone and throws up the victory sign and goes, "Whoa!"
Another fun fact about that movie: never seen it.
You should say essential action bank robbery movie. I think
it's been popping up on like my feed a lot. So,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Very quotable, very fun movie. You definitely need to watch it. I've seen it 6 times today.
Shut your fucking lying ass up.
My number 4 was going to be a movie I didn't know I needed, but I do need, and it is The Inside Man.
Never seen it.
So it's a film directed by Spike Lee, starring Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
My top 3 favorite Spike Lee movies are She's Gotta Have It. My favorite Spike Lee movie. Number 2, Sal's Pizza. What's it called? Love Hate. What's it called?
You can do it.
2,000 years later.
Do the Right Thing. That's what it's called. And then 3, Malcolm X. Did I know I needed Spike Lee to direct a bank robbery film starring Clive Owen? Was he British? A British guy? Didn't think I needed it, but I do. Fantastic movie, fantastic acting. Spike Lee's behind the camera, so fantastic directing. What a thinker, too. It keeps you on your toes like a ballerina. Excellent film.
Yeah. So my number 5 was also a surprise to me. And I will admit ahead of time, it doesn't quite meet the quality of your 5 and 4. But this movie, A, was a surprise that it ended up on my list after looking at the bank robbery movies that I had seen. B, this movie was a complete and total surprise to me when we saw it in theaters. But I'm giving my number 5 to Den of Thieves.
I thought about it.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
This is how much I enjoyed it. I have not watched it since we watched it in theaters like 2 or 3 years ago, and I still remember that movie so well.
It's a fun movie.
So, like, for a movie that had like 0 buzz and like I almost expected to not be good, I was just like, this is good. But yeah, really tense for what it is. And like, you know, you got a little plot twistiness in there, which I think I love about it because it's like, it's an action movie, right? But they still have there's still like major, and like obviously this is specifically bank robbery movies, not just heist movies in general, but there's still like heist elements in that at the end, they still have Homeboy like break down how he did everything behind the scenes. Like that's like straight out of a heist movie. And they wheeled it into an action movie, and I love that. My number 4 is going to be The Town.
It was on my list of things to watch. I couldn't get to it in time.
Okay.
Never seen it.
So you haven't seen it either. Okay.
I own it, though.
I watched it today. That was a really good movie. And honestly, the only reason that it's not higher on my list is that there's only one bank robbery in it.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it's like the first scene of the movie. There are other robberies, but only like one true bank. But bank robbery movie nonetheless, because the events that happen in the bank robbery kind of like they matter. So yeah, really, really good. Ben Affleck is a pretty good director. He's a pretty good actor when he's in his wheelhouse with stuff. This was 100% in his wheelhouse. I think he knocked it out of the park. I have like between all of the Marvel stuff And then like that weird time where like Jeremy Renner's like music ads were popping up on YouTube all the time, I was just kind of like not interested in Jeremy Renner. Thoroughly enjoyed him in this movie because he is like the true, like he's like the heel of this movie. Like
Good word.
yeah, right. So yeah, their dynamic was really interesting. It's always interesting when you have like a crew of like robbers, but like one of them still has this strange moral compass, and then you put one guy that's just completely off the fucking rails in there. It creates a really interesting dynamic, which I really appreciated, and it's a really good movie.
My number 3 is going to be Old Man with a Gun. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Great movie. Came out somewhat recently, last 5 years,
Really?
probably. Great movie. Robert Redford's in it. My number 4 son is in it. John David Washington has a very small role in it. Casey
nice.
Affleck is also in it. But Robert Redford is a bank robber, and he's like, you look at the 3 kindest people in the world. You got past tense included, Mr. Rogers, yours truly,
Yeah.
and Robert Redford in this movie. Like, he robs banks, and one of my favorite character actors of all time, he robs his bank, also known as Dave, and The Hateful Eight, and
Nice.
the man in the coin flip and No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
And he gets his bank robbed by Robert Redford, and Casey Affleck, he's interviewing him. He's like, so what can you tell me about the guy? Well, he's a gentleman. Like, he's the nicest dude in the world. So, like, when he's robbing these banks and these tellers and everything, they're so distraught. But they're also confused because, like, this is the nicest person I ever met in my life. But he also just told me he has a gun and he's robbing the bank. Like, he robs the bank. He's like, so, how are you doing? And he's like, well, I mean, since you're asking, sir, and since you walk in, not too good. Like, he's such a nice guy, and that's such an element we haven't seen in the bank robbery movies, or heist movies even. It makes it a fun movie, and it's that cat and mouse, Joker, Batman element you get in this film with Casey Affleck and him. And what Casey Affleck's going through his life is probably relatable to people because he's got a midlife crisis. And Robert Redford, he's like, he doesn't want to grow up. He's like, I'm living forever. He tries to settle down. It's not working. He's broken out of the jail 16 times. Amazing character. New fun twist on a heist bank robbery genre. So it had to be on my list because it's also just a very well made film. And my number 2, Donald Duck. I'm surprised you didn't know because it's from this movie. And it is Heat. I finally watched Heat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's
And
my number 1.
Yeah, Al Pacino, he's like, he goes to the fucking junkyard, he's talking to that guy. He's like, all right, I'm going to go sit outside, and you Donald Duck. And fucking, that's a Scarface impression. But you get, hoo-ah. Like, what, like, you have such a great movie without, like, you could have recast Al Pacino. Al Pacino could have been anyone, in my opinion. And you would have had a very good, serious movie. But because you put Al Pacino in there
Yeah.
and how he acts, it just makes his lines and everything so much different, which sets it apart and makes it its own. And Michael Mann's cinematography, and hold up, I gotta rewind. I gotta talk about Pacino more. What an odd, like, he's plucked out of a different movie, stuck in this movie.
Yes,
100%.
100%.
Because, like, it's a serious scene. His partner's serious, the
Yeah.
guy's serious. And he's just like, he's got a great ass.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? He's got a great ass.
Yeah.
I think of asses, I can't think, like, all kinds of stuff. And Michael Mann's cinematography is fucking amazing. At night, like, I knew from Collateral, like, his cinematography at nighttime is unbeatable. It's impeccable. You can't get anyone better to shoot films at night than Michael Mann.
That's a fact.
And De Niro.
That boy good!
You kind of get Pete De Niro.
As a good guy.
Yeah. Debatable.
Well, on this side of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
De Niro's the bank robber. Al Pacino's.
Oh,
the
I got
cop.
it backwards.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Like
You get like Pete De Niro where he's like
Yeah.
talking to Val Kilmer and like going over plans, and Pacino and the coffee shop is like, I won't hesitate to shoot you either. And then like Al Pacino's like peak Al Pacino this time, you know, like they both had these amazing careers, and like they're just acting like still better than a lot of other people, but it's still kind of like you've seen these things so much from these people, so it's kind of funny. And it's like really cements them as who they are as actors. Val Kilmer, before he got fat, he's in this movie. He's pretty good too. Just such a compelling story, a compelling script, like within the dialogue, not separating the script from the story, like so compelling with their lines of dialogue and how everything goes about. Incredible movie, and again, like we see in these bank robbery movies, same thing with Robert Redford's character. You just can't let it go sometimes. It don't matter how good the coochie is, you just can't let it go.
It's true. They put it on a pedestal. Yeah, well, like I said, Heat's my number one. And I agree with everything that you said about this movie.
Before you get started, I want you to think about what you gotta say, and then I want you to give me all you got.
Oh, nice. Yeah. But, and like, you're 100% correct. I think that's what elevates this movie so much for me. And I think I said it the last time we talked about Heat on a video. I love this level of Pacino because it's not Godfather Pacino. You know, it's not like earlier, like still kind of keeping that reined in. Or like, you know, even in Scarface when it gets a little wild, it's still obviously like very like, it feels professional.
It's earned.
Yeah, like it feels like acting. It doesn't feel like Pacino's just being crazy Pacino. And this is like in that mid-level. It's like he's taking this role seriously, but you're still just getting those little bursts of like, ooh, like, you know. So, and it works for me really well, especially in this role. I love their dynamic.
Yeah.
The bank robbery scenes themselves, since that's why we're talking about these movies, are incredible.
Yeah.
Like, very, very good. I love that movie a lot. I love it so much, I couldn't even remember who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. So... I need to watch it again, obviously, but I remember everything else that I love about that movie, and it is very good.
That's what you gotta say?
Yeah.
I said, give me all you got, and that's all I got. So I will keep talking about it because I thought you was gonna bring it up.
Oh, you're gonna keep going.
When you talking about Al Pacino's character, I want to give you some room to talk. It was your number one.
That's true.
You know, all the T's can't be for me. So Al Pacino's character in this film is also kind of like that Batman Joker dynamic.
Yeah.
And like he'll go and save his stepdaughters. Are they married? Stepdaughter's life,
something like that.
Because like she committed suicide in the tub, and he thinks the fucking world of her. But when that pager goes off, you know, it's like,
yeah,
I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah,
like, I have to do this, and it like really adds a complexion to that character of like who he is at home, and like how he's acting at home and how comfortable he feels being a cop, being in the streets, where he can have outbursts. Where he looks, someone's like, she's got a great ass, and like all these different stuff, you know. It's like it feels like he's acting at home, you know.
Yeah,
like he means it.
Yeah,
but because the door is so broken, that kind of like it kind of brings him to that cop level. Like,
yeah. So
because of that dynamic in the film, I thought that was one of the best Pacino roles of all time.
Yeah, I agree. It's so good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And coming, that means more coming from you though, because you're definitely a bigger Pacino guy than I am.
Yeah, all these Italian guys,
so
the best.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What?
I left off a movie that should have been my number one. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh no.
We might have to redo the video. We can't redo the video. Fuck. It would just be I have two number ones then. Fuck it.
That's fine. Was that your number two?
That was my number two.
Okay. All right. So my number three is The Place Beyond the Pines. Definitely like a way different tone than any other movies on the list. A lot more, you know, I don't know if artistic is the right word, but it's got that like that indie cinematic feel to it, you know, like more of a slow burn, but when it picks up, it like really picks up. And I think that's what I love about this one a lot is that it's like, it's definitely like a roller coaster of a movie, but not necessarily like one that takes you to like the highest fucking peak and then just completely drops you. It does that like, well, once for sure. But it's just like a bunch of just like back and forth the whole time as far as like the tension and then releases and the time, like space in between and all that stuff. Obviously a big twist that when we watched it, we did not know was going to happen in this movie. And that all of a sudden banks are not being robbed about a third of the way in for reasons. But yeah, he robs like 3 banks and he does it very well, except the last time, obviously. But yeah, I really enjoy that movie. I like Ryan Gosling a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite Bradley Cooper performances because I don't like a ton of things that he's in, but I really enjoyed him in this. It felt really different. And I think that's why I like it so much is because of how much it just stands out amongst all the other ones as far as tone and things like that go.
Can I ask you something?
What you got?
So, who's the female in that movie?
Eva Mendes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one more question?
That she's got a great ass.
Well, that didn't sound like a question, but I'm sure that she does.
Yeah, I said, does she got a great ass? But in a Pacino voice. So
Yeah, it kind of blurred it all together. Yikes. Anyways, my number 2 is Hell or High Water.
That's one of my number ones.
Okay, nice.
So this is one of those movies I had to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I remember how much I loved it. Same thing with Old Man with a Gun. Like, I remember how I loved it first time I watched it. I just haven't went back and watched it. The dynamic between the cops and the brothers are so deep and layered that they could be their own movies.
Yeah.
But you just pit them against each other. And, like, I love, like, I don't think people understand how much I love, like, Southernness.
Yeah.
And, like, on camera, all those Texans. Yeah. What don't you want? We got 4 things on the menu. What don't you want? Like, shit like that just fucking cracks me up, and I love it.
It is funny.
And, like, all the little Texas stuff I love. Jeff Bridges, he's a fucking goon. He's picking on John Roca throughout the whole movie, which is great. Because I don't know that guy's name, but he looks like John Roca. But their dynamic, again, like I said, it could be
Can't
their
say
own.
his name on this channel.
Blow me. You can have like your whole movie based on those 2 guys, but then you put in Chris Pine's character and Ben Foster's character,
Yeah.
and their dynamic is such a. I'm an only child.
I don't care.
Me too.
Don't really do the family thing, but I understood what family meant to people because of this movie. Not Fast and Furious movies, but like as much as they give each other shit, they still like. It's like law that you have to stick by them. Even though, like, if they weren't brothers, they probably wouldn't like each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, he keeps coming back, and, like, their dynamic, again, could be a movie.
Yeah.
And their bank robbery scenes are so smart, it's so thought out. Like, I want this, this, and this. Nothing in bundles. And, yeah, it's fucking great. I think what I love most about this film is Ben Foster's character.
That would be the character you like the most.
Because I like Jeff Bridges' character the most, but Ben Foster, he's a fucking lunatic, though. Like, I forgot how good he was in the movie.
Very
like,
off the rails.
He's never in anything.
That is true.
He's in, like, 2 or 3 movies that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
He's not in much. And I just forgot how good he was. Like, he's fucking... One minute, he's, like, going to beat somebody up and shooting people. And then the next minute, he's, like, fucking Spanish girls. And Chris Pine's, like, hitting one of these numbers. Like, great dialogue, exceptional. Story, exceptional. Everything in this movie, if you had to give it a rating, it would be a 10.
It has a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw that earlier today.
It's such a good movie. Like, the only thing...
And, does not get talked about that much.
The only thing I, like, nitpickingly saw is there's a couple editing continuity errors.
So...
And, personally, this is a personal thing. Because I like older Southern music. And I felt it would have fit the Texas a little bit better.
That's true.
That modern country-esque soundtrack, wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Give me some Johnny Cash and maybe some David Allen Coe.
Yeah.
Some stuff that fit.
Some Haggard, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you know who that is, but that's good.
I also still grew up in the South. I just have left it behind more earnestly than others.
By the looks of us, I would say kind of the opposite. Okay, go ahead.
I don't think either of us look that Southern.
No,
Or sound that Southern.
definitely not. Especially me.
Anyways, Hell or High Water
Like an
takes
animal.
place in the South, and which it takes place in Texas, and it's still the South, but Texans like Texas is Texas, the South is the South.
Yeah, it's kind of like Florida.
Not quite, but yeah, that movie takes place in the South, and it's a really good bank robbing movie.
That's very good.
Yeah, that was one of your. We already talked about number one.
That's your number. That's all you got to say.
What's your other number one?
It was
I
can't think
you
of any
literally just doted on every single thing about that movie. I don't like you covered it all.
You literally said, he was like, that's a really good movie. I don't think Ben Foster's in any other movies I could think of.
I didn't even say that. I always get the Bens mixed up, like Kingsley and Foster and the other Ben. But
Gandhi and Ben Foster in this movie. How do you get those two mixed up?
no, Ben Mendelsohn. I get them mixed up too. But anyways,
Hannibal Lecter. All right.
no, all right, fine. Hell or High Water. I agree with everything that you said. I do really dig the tone a lot. I definitely agree with you. So like it feels a lot smaller. There's no crew, right? Which I guess like retroactively, that's another thing that I love about The Place Beyond the Pines is that like it's a solo act, and it adds like this whole introduced dynamic. You don't have anyone backing you up, like, and it's very isolating, and that adds tension because it's like nobody has your back, which is a big theme of Hell or High Water. The fact that they have each other's backs, even when one of them is ready to not anymore, but you got to. It's family. So like, yeah, I think that dynamic is what pushes this over the edge into like a phenomenal movie for me. And you're right. Cinematically, it's phenomenal as far as the way it's shot and all that stuff. The way that it adds to like the overall tone and feel of the movie. And it's like, I think for me, it's a standout because most of mine are more like traditional, like bank robbing movies. Like they're going and robbing like a bank in a big city, right? But this is just like small town kind of like like you're not even really getting that much comparatively out of these banks, but it's still what we do. So we go do it.
Shit adds up.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's $4, it adds up. So, like, another thing, because I'm going to keep talking about it, because, like, I tried to leave you some room, but I recently just watched it. I don't know when the last time you watched it. Just everything they do that you can do in the South that you can't do in the big city. Mm-hmm. So, like, how they bury the getaway cars.
Yeah.
That's fucking smart. I haven't seen that in another movie.
That's true.
Their dynamic of this, like, rowdy ass South Texas boy, like Ben Foster's character, and he does it because he's having fun,
right?
And the reason why Chris Pine is doing it, two totally different things.
Yeah. So
like you get all the like, I wouldn't call them tropes, but like the things we see a lot of in these movies. Mm-hmm. Like you do it because you have to, not because you want to. And Ben Foster's on the other hand, he's like, I'm doing this because this shit's fun, and you're my brother. Like he has fun doing it. Like he kind of knows like shit's probably gonna go south, and I'm probably gonna die.
But like that's the way he wants to go.
Yeah, that's where he wants to go. So it just adds so much depth to every character, and like same thing in Heat, same thing in probably all the movies to a certain extent. The hero and villain dynamic, the cops and robbers dynamic.
Yeah,
it only works if they're both on a fucking pedestal.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't have a fucking whack ass cop and a fucking 5-star robber.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. You're so smart.
And this movie is just like depicts everything great about heist bank robbery movies. Mm-hmm. And it makes it different because it does take place in the South, in Texas. My other number one, because I'm an idiot and didn't write my list correctly, because I was like, oh yeah, Dog Day Afternoon. Of course that's going to be my number one. But I forgot to write it down.
You're a buffoon!
So would Hell or High Water have been your number two?
I don't know, because I watched Hell or High Water yesterday, and it's been like, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 months. Like movie recently, I've seen Dog Day Afternoon, and like they're so different because like this one, it does take place in a big city, but Pacino's in this movie, and again, it is kind of out there, which makes it different. But it's more of like a real life. It is a real life situation. Just they put it on film. Like he's trying to get money saved up to like get his boyfriend a sex change or some shit. It's incredible. Premises is out there. The like best. You take like the best 70s filmmaking, and it's a personal thing because I love 70s filmmaking. You not so much as the face he made on camera. So it just works more for me. But like all the little things from the 70s that you add into this movie, it makes it impeccable in my opinion. One of the best films ever, like top 50. I would definitely put it on there because of how realistic it is, how the cops go about talking to Pacino, and the lead up to the climax of the film where it's like, this ain't a fucking movie.
Huh?
Spoiler alert. In the most discreet way possible. You're watching a movie, but this isn't a fucking movie. So, you have a buffoon robbing a bank. Al Pacino plays on a buffoon with his buddy. And they don't really know what the fuck they're doing. So you kind of have sympathy for them. And the people inside the movie in the situation with them that are hostages or cops, they kind of have sympathy for them too. Because it's like, bro, these people are just like down on their luck. The system fucked them over. And, you know, like, you just feel bad for him. And it adds a different dynamic than any of the other ones on my list. Because, like, yeah, I feel bad for Chris Pine's character because, like, he had a shit life growing up and, like, what happened to his mother and everything.
Yeah.
but not to this level of sympathy. So they're both very different in each of their own ways, but I don't know which would truly be my number one. But it had to make the list, and I already used up all my number 2 through 5. So
Right.
maybe if we do a top 10, like if we 5 years from now run out of ideas and have to do a top 10, it would be number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because there's that fucking great.
Do I get to have a second number one now too?
If you want to.
It's the bank robbery scene from Hancock.
Shut up, stupid!
Clearly, I really, really, really love heist movies. That's how I use 3 reallys for me.
Yeah.
And he really, really loves heist movies.
Well, I just didn't want the video to be 30 minutes, so I limited my talk time. But
Bro, the only thing is I feel super passionate about that I have to get it out is sex and talking movies.
can't put it on a pedestal.
And I only want to talk movies with you. And there happens to be a camera in front of us.
Really thankful for that.
In both situations involve a rolling camera. But tell us what you think down in the comment section below. What's your favorite heist movie? What's your top 5? Do you want to see the other one? Never mind. You got to pay for that on OnlyFans. I'll put that in the link in the description. Don't go back up, hit the like button, share the video. And subscribe.